Well, I'm excited about today's interview. Not often do you get to speak to somebody of the caliber of individual that we've got on the call, but today, just excited to be here with Brady Yeager, our National Sales Director for Movement Mortgage.
Yeah, I agree, man. One of the things that I know about Brady is he's got such a great, he looks young, but he's got such a great background, as a mortgage professional. He's able to bring a really interesting context, I think, to where we are right now. Can't wait to hear from him. Welcome, Brady. How are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. Good to see you. Excited to catch up with you today.
I tell you what, we're excited to have you. And the one thing that we know that everybody listening to this call should know is you may be the busiest guy in the company. Pretty sure that's true.
I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
You got broad shoulders, man. That's usually what that means, right? You get stuff done. So here's something if you don't mind, I would love to just start. And I didn't tell you I was going to ask this question, but I think it'd be relevant for people that don't know. Like, how long have you been in the business? And could you give us just a little glimpse of, here's what I remember, Brady, when there was conversation about you coming on, right? I remember Mike Brennan telling me about, got this guy and, he's got a bunch of people that follow him. So I think it'd be interesting for people to hear that because you're our record recruiter by far.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd love to. Yeah. Man, it's been, let's see, 25 years. Okay. 25 years. Yeah. So I caught in 01, right before the run up with a bunch of other young guys and gals right out of college. Didn't know any better. Off to the races we went to 08. And then I had a brokerage then actually with Juice, who you know very well.
Absolutely.
And after 08, folded what was left of that into Cobalt Mortgage with Keith and Ernie, great guys. Keith Tibbles, Ernie Gary were great mentors for me, taught me how to do purchase. I don't think I even knew how to do a purchase up to that point.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And was there for till 2014, kind of worked my way up as a loan officer up into management into a partner. And then I was fortunate enough we sold that to Caliber in 2014. Yeah, November 2014. And that's where I met Steve Smith, who was the CFO at that point, who's now our CFO and president here at Movement. So good connection there. I remember leaving that meeting down in Dallas, me, Keith, and Ernie. And the one question we asked ourselves was like, could you work for those guys? And the answer was yes. And it's kind of how we made our decision on, partnerships are just so important in this business.
You bet.
I was there and then stayed at Caliber for 8 years until it sold to NRZ, which I knew that was going to be a big change culturally. Going to a big REIT was just different. And so I left, took a year, worked at another company that Keith and Ernie had started up, Level Capital, doing builder financing for a year. And started looking, the rest of the team there really was asking for, options and weren't happy and asked me if I would kind of look around and see what I saw. And I did kick the tires of several great companies.
No, not several. I've heard you tell this story. How many total?
I don't remember. It's
a lot.
Too many. Any LOs that are listening to like that, it's exhausting. You go through this like dating process and then you feel awful when you don't go somewhere. And so it was a great experience. I met some amazing CEOs and other great leaders in the industry and people that I'd known, but then got to get to a deeper level with them. So, I ended up meeting Casey Crawford and on this little list I had created, he just Movement and him kept popping up and, several different things. But the three primary things that drew me towards Movement were unique. The first one was a single owner, not backed by a PE firm or any shareholders, not a bank. And he is the sole single owner of Movement, and the buck stops with him. I know there's never any intention in his mind or desire to sell the company, which was really important to me. I didn't want to make a move and have, all our team be there and then have to be forced into a move or into, a sale or a merger. And so that was really important to me. And it's kind of like, you get with Casey, you kind of get the best of both worlds where you get this kind of regional feel, kind of like what we had at Cobalt, but then you get all the national power of a big IMB, top 5, top 10 IMB.
Yeah.
And so I kind of saw the benefit of both worlds there. So that was the first thing that really drew me to him and movement. And then the second thing was servicing. I've
Yeah.
always been a big believer in servicing. We were a service seller at Cobalt with Fannie and Freddie, and you just have so much more opportunity to connect with your borrowers. And obviously, the financial side of it's a strategy with servicing. Can be good, can be bad, but that ability to connect and beyond the mortgage statements and to retain servicing, I knew was going to be so important for what we're coming into right now. And so having an appetite for servicing was really important to me. And then the third and final thing was culture. Movement's got a unique culture, different than any other IMB out there for sure. Like I said, you kind of get the best of both worlds with a regional, small kind of company feel, but with all the power of a big national. So that's how, kind of got here and my background, and been here now 3 years, 4 months, and the national, of sales here, and it's been awesome. It's been a good run.
So here's what I picture, man. I picture when we all came to Seattle, because dude, P&W, I mean, we had some players, but we had no market share. So when we came to you guys, I just pictured that room full of people who literally they were waiting for your direction. I've never seen that before. I've been in this business 30 years. I've never seen that amount of loyalty and movement. And I know you're going to be very humble about it, but it's true. They were waiting on you. Like, Brady, where are we going?
I kind of see it the other way, but I appreciate that. But I think for me I just try to provide as much information and kind of opinion and thought and the context of what I thought was going to be the next best IMB or prepared to be the next best IMB, and they some of the great leaders, Ali and Donovan and Dustin and everybody else that really made the decision. And I'm just so fortunate to be with them. We have this team that's been together 20 years. Ali Lord, who's our regional in the Northwest, 20 years. She's an amazing success story herself.
Absolutely.
Started as a receptionist, worked her all the $100 million producer all the way up to now, a regional run in a $2 billion region. And she's just phenomenal.
Amazing. She's amazing. One of the things people should know about her, by the way, because I used to coach her years ago after she was just as she
coached everybody.
At some point, I've coached everybody, I think. Longest running, I do believe, mortgage coach in the industry, some 30,000 hours of coaching. World-class competitor champion, I think, jump rope champion.
Yeah, jump rope. Yeah, that's right.
Imagine the stamina that requires. It just blows my mind. She is such a competitor. She
is. You wouldn't know. She's so sweet and so thoughtful. But she's definitely got that competitive nature in her for sure.
Oh my goodness, she's such an asset. So, dude, here we are. We're sitting here at the time that we're recording this. It's February 2026. People could be listening to this throughout the year, and we look back as you went through those years. There was one, obviously, was 9/11, 2008, 2007 into 08, the great crash, right? And then a really good ride for a long time, like a really good ride for a long time. And then all of a sudden the bottom fell out, and it was really weird when rates went up. Like the market didn't know how to adjust to that. The LOs didn't know what to do.
Yeah, March 2022 just started,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are, man. And I mean, I guess everybody's sort of hoping for, bright, new, shiny opportunity. And I don't know what you see, but I would love to hear your view on the market. You seem to be connected to everybody and everybody that has data and opinions. And I just love to hear what you see right now, man.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Gosh, everybody has a different opinion. If I had to sum it up, I kind of see opportunity. And I say that in a way of like getting prepared. I think this year we all hoped it was going to be this year. I don't know that it will be. I think 27 is going to be an amazing year. I think the last quote I saw from Fannie was like 2.3 trillion this year, 800 billion in refis, which is like 30% up from last year. Purchases up like 7 or 8%. But I don't think RLOs are ready. We saw the head fake in 23, the head fake in 24. Beginning of this year, we got another. And every time it happens, I see people scramble, companies and just scramble. And so, LOs, we look at, our books, and we have this amazing asset that we don't tend to over the years.
Yeah.
Insurance agents do it, stockbrokers do it, other industries do a really good job of capitalizing on that asset at the end of their
Mm,
career or during their career. And we don't do a good job of that in the industry. And so I keep trying to get RLOs to just get prepared, get ready, get your
yeah.
book really tight, get your contacts all up to date, get your rate alert set, make sure that you've got every one of your borrowers in your sphere, knowing where you are, when it's going to be time for them to buy or to refinance. Get it into your CRM, get your follow through on your business plans that you write at the
Totally.
beginning of the year. I just think it's a good opportunity to get ready. I think it'll still be
Yeah.
a good year, but I'm really pushing everybody to get ready so that they can then, take advantage of this opportunity that's coming, which should be a massive opportunity. Going from 500,000 LOs down to what, 90,000 that did more than 4
Absolutely.
million last year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you look at that number, and if rates just hit 5.875, that would be, if you did an average loan amount of like 300, 350, it'd be like 60 loans per LO. It's just like it's going to
Boom.
be crazy how much opportunity
Yeah.
there is for the people that are left. You know,
I love the
so
preparation comment. I've heard you say that so many times. And as a coach, I can't help but say, I mean, first of all, shameless plug, impact coaching, your internal coaching, you guys.
yeah,
We now have 2 years of data that we've been measuring this. Those involved in internal coaching, impact coaching, 31% more production than those not coached. So it's like inarguable. This isn't just a good idea. And this isn't just a
no
bargain,
brainer.
right? Because yeah, Casey and Move and continue to underwrite it at 50%. It's like a bargain. You can't find this kind of coaching for that price, and certainly not with those results. So Brady's right. If you don't feel like your book, if first of all, if you don't have a book, like that's a new concept for a lot of LOs because the phone was always ringing in the old days. I didn't need a book. I just took advantage of the phone ringing, right? You need a book. You
I
need a
love
book.
when I hear
And
that.
folks, I would start right here. Like pick up your phone and look at how many people have you got in your contacts, and then double check how many of those have I gotten more. They need to be in more, and we can help you with that. So, man, I love that overview. I think that's great encouragement. I think I read somewhere that if it was 85-15 purchase refi this year,
Mm,
80-20, that's probably a realistic approach. What you don't want is the other way around, right? When that
yeah,
market
no,
hits
for
and it's
sure.
like 20% purchase and 80% refi, it's like remember those clear lucite like cash booths and game shows and $100 bills were flying all over the place. Like that's what that
That's
feels
what I
like.
mean, like losing that opportunity, right? And it's like, and
Totally.
we're so fortunate to be in this industry. I mean, it's provided such amazing lives for so many of us. And to miss that opportunity for yourself and your families would be just horrible. So
Yeah.
keep trying to tell people like it's coming, get ready. One of the things I do think we do really well is, we have our servicing strategy, but we also couple that with the customer for life campaigns, the concierge program, where we can have, if you don't want to make those post closing 30-day calls, 6-month call, 1 year call, the team will do it for you as part of your team. So we've created a lot of these resources for LOs to just, they don't have to do the work. They can just
You
sign up
bet.
to have the work done, which, hey, if that's how
You
you have to
bet.
do it, fine. Just make sure it gets done. And so I think, just tightening up that book, like I said, and making sure that you're ready for that opportunity, because it's going to, and not only the LOs, but the companies too, because you don't want to bottleneck, right? In ops. And so
Right.
you need to make sure, and we've all had such a struggle the last 3 years of trying to right size. I mean,
Yeah.
gosh, when the tide went out, 50, 60 bips in margin never came back in. And so I think everybody spent the last 3 years just trying to really get dialed in. And, you're either overstaffed or understaffed a lot of the
For
time. And
sure.
so I think getting that staffing right and being prepared for what's coming is going to be just
Great point.
crucial for all companies. And so I think
That's
we're
a
really
great point,
prepared
man.
well there. And I think our LOs are continuing every day to get more and more prepared.
So good.
It's going to be great. Just need to make sure we're ready for it.
Totally agree, man. I love that. So you touched on when you were talking, Brady, about when you joined the company, the things that appealed to you. And every organization, every LO's got a unique value proposition, right? One way or another. And ours is evolving, just like everything else has evolved over
Absolutely.
time. And I'm just curious, yeah, what you touched on it a little bit there in terms of the book and sort of managing
Mm,
long term. I know that's part of what you see. Talk to us a
yeah.
little bit about how you see us moving forward and what you would say our evolving unique value proposition is right
Well,
now.
the old question of what's your value prop? I love it. It is a really good question for us because we have evolved and there's been these iterations of it. And I think we're in the middle of an iteration right now. Movement was known for 671. And I remember that, 10, 15 years ago when it came out, and we're all rushing to get, these TBDs, pre-approval underwrites done.
Yeah.
The industry's caught up with that, and I think
Yeah.
Casey and Toby rolled that out and did an amazing job with it. It was absolutely a game changer for the company,
For sure.
and it forced the rest of the industry to kind of follow suit. I think now, it really to me is more about, again, the evolution of the loan officer and getting them prepared for what's coming. But
Yeah.
when I look at the industry overall, there's with such a need for new people coming in. And then also, like I said, getting the people that maybe this is the last run, maybe you got 2 or 3 more years. Well, let's get you ready to really retire right and to make sure you can set your book up like an annuity. So
Yeah.
I think our value prop, they're the 3 things I mentioned, which is KC, single owner, servicing, culture. That's like the core national, big power you get with a national company, the big core values. But then you have, this local control that we have with more of a regional feel, with local underwriting communities and ops, and then local leadership. Then that leadership, what I'm pushing them to do is really get these loan officers ready. And so whether, it's like when someone starts day one, the data is amazing now, right? You can come in day one and in more. We have every loan you've ever closed since 2017, teed up, values, rates, real estate agents, contact information. It all flows through. So day one, when you sit down, we can run predictive analytics and show you all your refi opportunities, cash out opportunities, rate and terms. It's just amazing, and only getting better and better and better with all the AI and the data that's feeding into into this industry right now. So I think that value prop for me would be, let me help you as a loan officer take 5 years, 15, 20 years of hard work and make sure that you have that pulled together in a cohesive, solid book of business that we can then capitalize on short term in the next couple of years as these refis come in and purchase. I mean, there's such a massive demand for purchase that's going to just come flowing in here over the next few years. But then long term is, we call it our legacy program, right? And that feeds into our Win Together fund, which is basically our servicing port, which we allow loan officers to invest in if they want to, which I think last year was like a 13% return, which not bad for last year. And the income for life, which is where we pay out 1 to 2 basis points on your servicing book that we've retained. So it's a motivation for loan officers to retain their book, 401k, obviously, and then also our insurance. So we're paying out renewal on the renewals. We give referral fees out on the renewals for insurance policies, which has been a huge lift. KO and several others are just doing amazing with that program. And then lastly is, your book, right? And so we've created this formula where you can plug in key metrics of your book in your business, and it'll spit out a valuation for you. And so, if you want to retire in the next 2 to 3 years, we can help you with that kind of one of 3 ways. We'll do an initial lump sum if you want, where then we can actually pay off or help you sell your book, pay for it, and then we'll take the payments out of loans coming in over the next 1 to 3 years typically. Or we can do a 3-year payout, which would be, say you bring a junior in, you do a 30-70, 50-50, 70-30. Or the one I like the best is, say you're 3 years from now, you're ready to be done calling it, and you can just go on as like a part-time junior on a team, get 20, 30 bips in perpetuity, and you just keep those relationships alive and, go to the events maybe once a month, make some phone calls, and have this, annuity that just pays you out for years. And if you do it right,
it's so smart,
so valuable, so
I think so smart.
That's our newest iteration, I would say.
I love it so much, Brady. And I want you to know, I've never said this to you, but a number of the top producers that I'm currently coaching, we're having that conversation. Like they're buying into that third option that you just described. It's like, well, why wouldn't I want to stay connected? Why wouldn't I want to do this? We've all seen realtors do this over the years where suddenly there's a new person and they're in all the photographs, right? All the cheesy realtor photographs, they're in there with them for 2 to 3 years.
We've got some pretty cheesy ones ourselves.
Right? So use a current photo. But yeah, why not stay connected? Why not keep those relationships alive? I
It's
love
such
that
a
for you.
shame to watch 20 years of hard work just dissipate when someone, gets out of the industry. It's crazy to
You
me that
bet.
we would allow that to happen. So
You bet. Yeah, man. Well, I love that so much, my friend. It is very exciting to me. Somebody once said, "Wise man." I wish I could quote that person. Could have been a wise woman, who said, don't compete, change the game."
yeah,
And I
great
feel like
quote.
that's what we're doing. We're changing the game. That is, I visualize what you're describing and
Mm.
compare that to what I've known for so many years in this industry. It's just never been that. It's
Change
just
is
never
the only constant, right? I've heard so many people say that
totally
in this industry. Like, change is the only thing that's constant in this industry. You
right.
got to be able to adapt, pivot quickly. Otherwise, you won't make it.
Totally. Yeah, the,
Absolutely.
the the other two things that I would say that I'm seeing and hearing right now from my people, I keep seeing it again and again and again, is people saying to me, "You know what, coach? I'm really focused on becoming a financial advisor. Yes, I'm a loan officer technically, but I'm a financial advisor. Why? Because that's so much more important today than it used to be years ago. And you guys, markets that were driven by rates in the past, now they're driven by life events. And so the only way to be able to take advantage of life
Yeah.
events is to have your book of business, stay connected, make those multiple 5 to 6 calls, just have them calendared through more for the year, or outsource it, right? We have that ability too. But
Yep.
that's the game now moving forward, which honestly I think is a lot more exciting. Yeah, man, I love the vision that you describe. If I was going to ask you, if you had LOs, and you kind of do right now, if you had LOs in a room, so picture us at NSSC and you've got that big whiteboard and you were talking to them and you said, "You know what, you guys, here are 2 or 3 things I think you need to do right now, even if you're repeating yourself." What
Yeah.
would you have LOs do today, February 2026?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I mean, it's so funny. There is all this AI and all these, bells and whistles out there, but just getting back to the basics is
Yeah.
so simple and it always works in this industry.
Yeah.
I would start with just the basics again. Upload your book, go back to 2017, every loan you've ever closed, go into a CRM, make sure you have all your data points accurate. There's so many vendors out there where if you're worried about value or you're worried about rate, you can work with them, different price points to update and validate all that data. So I would just get your book uploaded, get your contacts and everything up to date, get your
So good.
metrics all dialed in. And then I would just start with the calls, go back
Yeah.
to, hey, this is Bill Hart. I'm at Movement. I just want you to know I'm watching your rates. Throw away the mailers you're getting. Don't take the call. I know your situation. When it hits 575, you'll save $350. Does that sound good to you? Perfect. I'll call you. We'll lock you in when it happens. It's like, it's so basic, but
Oh,
that's
buddy, I
literally
got to
what I
stop you
spend
though.
my time
That
doing.
script, you guys, like hit back 30 seconds so you can hear that again, because that script Brady just went through, that should be one that you internalize so that you can do it just as he just did. Doesn't have to be word for word. It has to be idea by idea. You internalize that, you start having that conversation multiple times a day. Coach Andy and I can both tell you, you will start seeing more leads, more credit pulls, more createds, more applications, and more
Absolutely.
fundings. And that's more fun. Right?
Such good calls. Like, they're easy calls. They're
Great
old
calls.
clients. They're happy to hear from you. It's like people, you go on a cold call or, go after, buying lists and all this. You don't need to. Go back to your past
Please.
clients. Go back to the realtors and builders you work with. Make these easy, warm calls and reconnect. There's so much, like I said, there's so much technology too to set these rate alerts. I mean, it literally does the work for you. So
Totally.
I look,
Totally.
think back when I was doing loans, it's like so much more manual
Oh
and
man.
harder. I'm one of those guys now, so when I used to produce way back then. But it's just exciting now. There's so many tools to really help
Yeah, man.
capitalize on the opportunity that's coming, but they got to be ready
Got
for
to be
sure.
ready. So, final question for you, bud. I know that I
Yeah.
wasn't kidding when I said I think you're the busiest guy in the company. It's certainly top 10. Let's say that. But I think you're the busiest. How do you stay on track, man? You have a family. You got workouts you want to get done. How do you like keep your eye on the prize day in, day
Katie
out?
Bauer, she does everything for me.
Katie is
Katie's
amazing.
amazing. I gotta give her credit.
Love it.
Oh, it's a good question. Gosh, last year I shared this with the regionals at the end of the year. So I love Stoicism, like Marcus Aurelius Meditations. If no one's read it, go read it. It's just such a great, it's his memoir journal of,
Yeah.
his time as Emperor of Rome, right? But it's all the same problems we still deal with today. And it's just such a good reminder of, again, taking responsibility, and just really mental fortitude. And I think the last 3 years have been really hard for a lot of people. And mental fortitude is so important, especially if you're a leader in this industry. If you're in a bad position or if you're not all in, your people are going to feel that. And so I really focus on, mental fortitude on a daily basis. And I call it the pause also, which is like before you react, think about how you want to respond. Don't react, respond with thought. Because, we get stuff thrown at us all day, every day, whether it's a loan officer or a borrower or a builder or an underwriter. Thinking about how you respond before you do is not always the easiest for salespeople, myself included. And so I've just really focused on that, and that simple little pause has saved me a ton in the last year. So that was my last year's. This year, I'm just I don't have mine this year. I've got a couple different ones, but I haven't really narrowed it down yet. But last year, for sure, mental fortitude and the pause.
That's good, man. I love the whole idea of controlling what you can control. Very much Marcus Aurelius, anything to have to do with the Stoics. Brady, you're a stud. We appreciate you so much. Last question, I think everybody's asking, how long is the hair going to go? It's a lot of hair there, man.
It's aggressive right now. I'm not quite sure what's going on. It's like for the Seahawks. I was my inner Seahawk coming out.
It totally looked like the logo. I get it.
I'm almost 50. Almost 50, Bill. So I'm like, if I can still grow hair and it's not gray yet, I'm gonna
rock
go.
the hair. Rock the hair. Well, Brady, what a pleasure, man. We know you're a busy guy. We appreciate you making time to be with us today. Thank you so much. And we appreciate all you do for movement, brother.
Thank you, Bill. It was so good catching up with you. I wish you the best on everything. And I likewise, thank you for everything you do for the company.
You bet. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Boy, that was fantastic. What a great interview. I know in the beginning, Bill, you mentioned about his background and what he did. Holy cow. I did not realize the depth of what he had gone through. What a great opportunity to learn from him on that.
Right.
And there were so many incredible things that he talked about. And one of the things that we talked about, and it was off camera when we were talking, we started talking about the progression of the company, where things are going. And we talked about the idea that there used to be 10 change makers inside of our company. Now we're up to 57. Holy cow. I mean, the stuff that we're doing inside of Movement is working.
Clearly. Yeah, so excited to be a part of this organization at this time. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you're a loan officer, a branch leader, market leader, I don't really care what role it is, but if you're on the sales side at all, your heart rate has got to be up just a little bit after listening to Brady, because the focus is in the right place. I love that he contextualized kind of the last 20, 25 years in the business, and for us to see what's in front of us, what the opportunity is right now, and for you and I as coaches to come alongside these people right now, super exciting.
Absolutely. He really pinned down on what we can do as loan officers ourselves too, and really started talking about refinance. And holy cow, make sure you're not missing the boat. The opportunity is going to be there. I know we're talking about it in our coaching calls, both in the group as well as the individual one-on-one time, but let this be a word of wisdom to hear. Get yourself organized for when this tidal wave of opportunity is coming, so you don't get caught, pulled out to tide in the tsunami. You're riding the surf on the way in instead.
Yeah, man. You're right. That was his ultimate, whatever the market does, that was his ultimate message, is be prepared. And for the longest time, I just feel as an industry, we really weren't prepared because we didn't really have to prepare. When there were leads coming in all the time, it was more just capacity. Now it's about getting intentional about, as he kept calling it, your book. So I hope you have a book of business right now and you're focused on it. And if we can help you in any way, hit us up at getcoaching@movement.com. We'd love to come alongside you, have a strategy call, help you get that organized.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to like us and follow us on the podcast, and reach out to getcoaching@movement.com if we can serve or help you in any way.
See you later, guys.